a different world entirely separate from Earth. The scene unfolds on the continent of Tyranno. When the king's heart is burned and vanishes, an existence transcending the fate of this world will descend upon this land. A legend has been passed down in Tyranno. To summon a transcendent entity from another world, the Emperor of Zestlon planned to sacrifice 5 sons, 7 daughters, and 19 close royal relatives to summon the otherworldly saint as prophesied. However, the summoning brought a young man from Earth instead, resulting in the Emperor's furious wrath. The young man, on his journey to this new world, was transported to a completely unfamiliar land. That person was the savior, Sung Sahan. The young man fought fiercely to save this world. He returned to the other world once more to eradicate the king's cruel regime. Everything seemed to be over when that tyrant was destroyed. At that moment, it felt as though the gates of happiness were about to open. Sahan would be reunited with the girl he loved, Levion. She approached with a gentle smile on her lips. The two shared a warm embrace after days of hardship. Just as Sahan patted his chest, promising to stay here for his loved ones and start a new life, the expressions of his comrades who had fought side by side with him suddenly changed. In that instant, a chilling smile bloomed on Levion's lips. Even he was paralyzed by that aura. The moment Sahan turned around, he saw a spatial portal opening. Stunned and unable to believe what was happening right in front of him, Sahan turned to the woman he loved. But all he received was a wicked face, rotten to the core. She, who had once shared warm kisses with him, now looked at him with absolute disgust. Then, Sahan was forcibly dragged into the spatial portal. He had to watch helplessly as those familiar faces now looked incredibly alien. The story spread to the masses would be that the world was saved by the otherworldly savior and the 6 heroes. Exorbitant taxes were abolished, and the people were freed from forced labor. The 6 kingdoms were governed closely together, dividing the rule of the continent. It was an era of peace and prosperity. The scene shifts to a quiet village nestled in the forest. A pair of feet steps lightly outside to catch the sunlight. The small girl's back reflects under the sun. She speaks softly. The sky is so clear today. Not a single cloud. Lita raises her hand to shield her eyes from the glare. A beautiful day for farming. She begins her planting work. The hoe strikes hard into the earth. Lita hums a gentle melody as she works. Suddenly, she pauses, hearing a strange noise. When Lita looks up, she notices a fish right next to her. Her eyes fill with confusion. What the? A flounder. A live, flapping flounder. Looks delicious. She catches herself. Wait, how can I eat it without knowing where it came from? A flounder suddenly appearing deep in the forest? Lita sighs. Too suspicious. I'll just get back to gardening. Suddenly, an object falls from the sky right behind her, making her jump. Lita quickly turns her head, tense. What was that? She witnesses a massive pig falling down. A pig? Lita looks up at the sky. First a flounder, now a pig. What on earth is going on up there? Her pupils dilate, filled with absolute bewilderment. At that moment, she sees his silhouette falling from the high heavens. A man falls from the sky completely stark naked. Lita's face turns incredibly sour, her lips pressed tightly together. Sahan's impact kicks up a cloud of dust all around. Lita is just helpless. After the pig, now it's a man? She approaches with suspicion. Is he dead? The moment Lita gets close, Sahan lifts his head, startling her. He looks around at this strange sight. In that small forest field, a new future begins. A small house built of stone and wood. Lita, somewhat in disbelief, speaks up. Hello? Suddenly, Sahan breaks into a slightly wicked smile. He gets excited. This is it. I did it. How many years has it been? Sahan boldly declares. I'm back, you idiots. But then, his body reaches its limit, and he sways. Sahan falls unconscious on the ground as she watches. Lita is thrown from one surprise to another. What in the world is going on? As night falls over the lonely little house, Sahan finally wakes up after a long sleep. He looks around in confusion. The light casts over Sahan's face. He exclaims, This is... At that moment, Lita approaches and asks, You're awake? I made some thick porridge. Are you feeling okay? I was incredibly shocked to see a person fall from the sky. Overly excited, Sahan bolts up in pain. You're the one who saved me. The side effects are heavier than I thought. Did I miscalculate? She falls into deep thought. A different language. That's not the common tongue of Terranober. The truth is, he's speaking a foreign language instead of certain. Could he be from a primitive tribe? But he looks way too clean to be a primitive. Seeing her expression, he realizes. I forgot this isn't Earth, but Glorna. Sahan asks, you're the one who saved me, right? She sets the food down and replies. Lita is lost in her own thoughts. So he's not from a primitive tribe. Sahan wonders. Okay, roughly speaking, where am I? She explains. We are north of Mount Diphan. He is confused. Mount Diphan. Gozen village? Where is that? Lita continues. Then I'll explain the territories first. We are in the Lachine Kingdom. It's the nation founded by King Lachine I after the revolution of the 7 great heroes. Sahan's voice suddenly grows tense. The Lachine Kingdom? He spits out every word with hatred. That Lachine is a king? That idiot? Suddenly, the atmosphere between the two falls into an awkward silence. Sahan asks, before we continue, can I borrow some clothes? I've been naked for a while now. Lita agrees. Sure. A while later, he starts eating like he's been starving for ages. Sahan pauses. It smells fishy. Well, nothing I can do about it. Seems like spices are a luxury in this village. I finally feel like I'm starting to come back to my senses. I don't mean I'm not grateful. Thanks a lot for the meal. Hearing those words, her face momentarily fills with confusion. A muscular body with no excess fat, a handsome face, and such an insolent attitude. Lita quickly concludes. Is he royalty? But why was he naked? Later, Sahan smiles and says, I just realized I haven't asked my savior's name. Who are you? She thinks to herself. Are you really asking that now? She introduces herself. My name is Lita. As you can see, I'm just a country girl. He replies. Is that so? Nowadays, master swordsmen are considered country girls. Besides, your strength is nothing ordinary. Lita's lips part as if she wants to say something. Finally, she asks out of curiosity. How did you know? Sahan replies. Just a hunch, I guess. She explains. She smiles and introduces herself. Yes, I am a warrior who uses weapons. A master swordsman. Although I'm not a knight. Like a freelance mercenary. For example, I don't have a king to serve. Basically, I'm unemployed when we don't have any quest requests, right? In my case, I do gardening and farming when there's work to be done. Sahan understands. I see. Then I have one more question. He emphasizes. What is your relationship with the Lawson family? At that exact moment, the table is suddenly kicked over. Sahan instinctively falls backward. Lita gets furious and stomps hard on the ground. She even pulls out a small dagger, her face cold. Lita's feet quickly leap onto the high table, but suddenly her expression freezes at the sight before her. Lita looks at the broken pieces in front of her, bewildered. He's not here? Just then, Sahan approaches from behind and speaks up. Hey, I didn't ask because I wanted to fight you. She defensively swings an attack backward. When did you get here? As Lita lunges to attack, he has already moved right in front of her. She panics. He dodged it. He's a master swordsman too. Then Lita continues to attack Sahan with her weapon. He dodges and says, Hey now, I have no intention of fighting, okay? Can we just talk? Lita assesses him silently. This guy is really strong. He dodged all my attacks with minimal movement. She decides. Then I'll just have to speed up even more. Sahan smirks and says, You're not as calm as you look. He turns around and concludes. But you have a kind heart. You're aiming for my shoulder, which means you don't intend to kill me, right? Lita screams in shock. A spoon. A wooden spoon. Then, carried by her momentum, she falls backward with a heavy thud. Meanwhile, he calmly points a wooden spoon at her. Lita softly admits. I lost. Who exactly are you? He smiles and introduces himself. My name is Sung Sahan. I came here from Earth. Her eyes widen in shock. Sung Sahan. Earth? Could you be the otherworldly savior, Sung Sahan? He laughs. Looks like I haven't been forgotten yet. I understand why you attacked me. I asked you about your connection to that tyrant king. I feel hurt too, you know. But I really only asked out of curiosity, so you don't have to answer. She speaks softly. My full name is Lager Bella Lusteni Lawson. Lita affirms. I am the daughter of the Mad Emperor. The people once cheered. The reign of the Mad Emperor is over. Kill everyone who shares the Mad Emperor's blood. We cannot let a second Mad Emperor rise. Back then, Lita's figure was incredibly wretched because of her father. The queen of that dynasty said, "I'm sorry, Ken. You are the only one I trust." He replied with deep respect, "Your Majesty, I swear to you, I will protect this child." At that time, she could only cry as she listened. "On my honor and my life." Lita recounts, "Ken, a royal guard, took great care of me. He sacrificed everything to raise me in a faraway place. He taught me how to fight. Even so, Ken was just doing the job of an unpaid mercenary. Because my identity was accidentally revealed to him, he had to take me out of the kingdom. Since then, we've lived in isolation here, except when we go to the nearby town to take on commissions after running out of money." Sahan listens and wonders, "So that's why you live like a hermit? I didn't expect you to be the Mad Emperor's daughter. Wait a minute, does that make me your father's enemy?" She reminds him, "I don't care about the Mad Emperor anymore. Even though the Mad Emperor is dead, people are still terrified of another Mad Emperor appearing. Those connected to the Mad Emperor can open portals to other worlds. That's why they are hunting down these people. I thought you were one of them." Sahan drinks some water and explains, "You guys thought I was hunting down those with the Mad Emperor's bloodline? But you were too lazy to convince me not to, so you chose to lie to me instead? You guys really make it harder the more I learn about what happened to me. Well, I understand you're in a tough spot, but cheer up. There are people who were accidentally teleported to this world just like me, and compared to them, we're doing pretty well." Lita furrows her brows and calls out, "Are you sure you're the otherworldly savior?" Sung Sahan, "I heard that after Sung Sahan defeated the Mad Emperor, he returned to Earth. How did you get back to the continent of Bu? And besides, why did you come back here stark naked?" Sahan stands up and shouts, "The naked part is something I couldn't control, because only living things can pass through dimensions. It's not like I have some weird fetish. Last time, I arrived in this world completely naked, and even when I returned to Earth 10 years ago, I was right in the middle of the Guangwaman intersection." He loses his mind. Just thinking about it makes me sick. She realizes, "So you returned to Earth 10 years ago, but were summoned back to Tyranno by someone? Unbelievable that someone summoned a person from another world. I wonder who could pull off such magic." Sahan crosses his arms and replies, "If I have to blame someone, I guess it's myself. I summoned myself back here." Lita is startled. "You summoned yourself? Is that even possible?" Sahan assures her, "Of course, but it wasn't easy. Took me 10 years. How should I explain this? Rather than saying I summoned myself." But suddenly, his eyes catch on to something. Seeing that expression, she can't help but wonder, "What's wrong?" Suddenly, Sahan speaks up, catching her attention. "Lita, you said you were being hunted, and the reason is that you carry the royal Lawson bloodline. The family with the power to summon otherworldly beings, right?" Lita replies, "Yeah, that's right." He becomes tense. "Oh crap, I made a mistake. To get to Tyranno from Earth, first, to arrive safely, there must be a spatial magic coordinate. So, I used those with the Lawson bloodline as coordinates. Those who possess the power to summon otherworldly beings. Lita, you are the one with the purest Lawson bloodline." She thinks, "Ah, so that's why he asked me about my connection to the Mad Emperor." Sahan continues, "In other words, I used you to enter this world." His face looks a bit awkward, meaning, to other mages, it would look like you summoned me with summoning magic, right? Lita is stunned. Summoning magic? No way. Unable to hold back at those words, she suddenly jumps to her feet. Then Lita stands up and looks straight at herself in the mirror. Her gasp echoes through the room. Why is it like this? Since when? Right at that moment, outside, a group of guards is surrounding the house. Holding their weapons, they slowly approach the house where Lita lives. Lon reports, "There are traces of summoning magic around here. I'm certain the reaction is coming from that small house. Looks like we've finished surrounding it." He emphasizes, informing the young man, "General Xenon." He furrows his brows and replies, "Thank you for your efforts. Mage Can, everyone prepare for battle. Stand by for orders while surrounding that small house." Inside the house, Sahan still calmly crosses his arms, watching everything. Meanwhile, Lita has quickly changed into her warrior outfit and grabbed her sword. He assesses. She's used to dealing with crises. Has she always practiced this kind of scenario in her head? I feel kinda bad for her since I came here on a whim. Now, even though she managed to hide successfully for so long, she's been found out. Even if she doesn't show it on the outside, she's definitely furious. Sahan speaks up. "Lita, if you have anything you want to say to me, feel free to say it." In that moment, She is touched by those words. Lita bows. Thank you for warning me about their ambush. That answer leaves him dumbfounded, his mouth hanging open. Outside, they shout. Show yourself, sinner. Otherwise, we'll blow that house to pieces. Xenon threatens. Mage Can, launch a deterrent strike. He agrees. Yes, sir. Immediately, Can raises his hand to summon a flame. The fireball quickly grows larger and heads straight for her house. That terrifying power even makes the young man wary. Xenon, isn't that a bit much? We were ordered to capture her alive. He explains. It just looks terrifying on the outside. It won't kill her. Lon continues. If she's unlucky, she might get burned. But right then, Lita's body moves like the wind, startling everyone. He orders. She escaped. Catch her. A reward of 10 gold coins to whoever captures her alive. Over here, she is fighting valiantly amidst the crowd. The guards are panicked. Impossible. She's a master swordsman? Lita fights while feeling the pressure. There are too many of them. How do I get out of here? Just then, she notices the scene in front of her. A surge of power rushes in, blasting Lita's body away. Xenon walks over. The cursed Lawson bloodline. As a master swordsman, aren't you ashamed to kill a lowly soldier? He declares. From now on, I, a knight of Lachine, Xenon, will deal with you. Lita realizes. His armor also has aura. He's a level above me. Then Xenon lunges, launching a direct strike at her face. The struggle between the two is incredibly intense. Seeing an advantage, Lita swings her sword. This is my chance. Right where the two clash, a powerful flash of light erupts. He comments. The aura from your sword is pretty strong too. Huh? Even so, my defense is stronger. Xenon shouts. Those cheap tricks won't work on me. Lita is forced into a passive position. She screams in pain. Lita's body is thrown backward, dragging a long trail across the ground. Suddenly, his eyes change, losing the ferocity from earlier. Xenon raises his hand to wipe his face in disgust. So filthy. If you're a master swordsman, then you know full well you can't beat me. If you just drop your weapon. But then she interrupts. I surrender. He praises. Smart decision. You grasp the situation pretty fast. Now, if you follow me. Suddenly, Sahan's voice rings out from behind, cutting him off. You've been fighting pretty aggressively this whole time. Did you calm down just because you felt sorry for her? Didn't your mood change way too fast? Hearing those words, Xenon's face instantly darkens. He is bewildered. Who is this guy? When did he get this close? How could I barely sense his presence? Xenon leans forward, wondering to himself. Who is this guy? I couldn't sense any presence at all when he approached like this. He panics and shouts. You. Who are you? Sahan stands in front of Xenon's sword tip, but still calmly replies. Sorry, I personally don't have anything against you. However, I have to take a little responsibility. So, Xenon's pupils instantly widen. He closes his eyes, punching the young man backward. Carried by the momentum, Xenon crashes straight into the ground. His upper body sinks completely into a deep hole. The soldiers seeing this are absolutely stunned. He got buried right into the ground. Lita watches Sahan's back and wonders, why is he fighting the soldiers? This guy is Sung Sahan. So aren't these guys the subordinates of his old comrades? Lon raises his hand and orders. He's a remnant of the evil empire. Take him out quickly. He puts his hands on his hips, watching them rush in, and asks, You guys still won't back down even after your leader got taken out, huh? Looks like I have no other choice. I don't want to do this. But I guess. Sorry. Don't blame me, okay? And no hard feelings, alright? Excuse me. Sorry. Truly sorry. The whole group watches this scene, trembling violently. If you're going to beat us up, then don't bother apologizing. Not long after, Xenon pops his head up and curses. Who dares? He suddenly opens his eyes wide, sweat dripping down. Lon looks at his comrades failing miserably in front of him and is utterly shocked. He plants both hands on the ground, marveling inwardly. Oh my God, this can't be real. An unarmed criminal took out all the soldiers here by himself? So that's what happened to me just now. Thank goodness I'm lucky. Xenon startles and shouts. Wait, those movements. I've seen them before. The silhouette of a person flashes in his mind, perfectly matching the one before him. Half of that face is still smirking. Now, Sahan speaks up. Oopsie, look who woke up. You're pretty tough. Sorry. but you're going to have to pass out for a little while longer. He observes his movements and screams. Wait, are you? Before he can finish, a gasp echoes out along with a loud thud. Sahan turns his face away, ignoring Xenon, who is planted head first into the ground, muttering, I've said this time and time again, but I don't have any hard feelings against you guys. Okay, so we have no reason to keep fighting. If you still want to go head-to-head with me, I'll oblige. Lon clicks his tongue. He looks at the people lying on the ground, calculating inwardly. Elite warriors and mages are absolutely no match for him. Where did that monster of a master swordsman come from? Sahan turns to Lita and starts. I guess they won't attack anymore. What's wrong? Are you going to stay like that? She clutches her arm. Hesitantly replies. Right. Then the two silently walk away right in front of the soldiers. Lon curses loudly in annoyance. He raises his hand and orders. This mission is a failure. We must retreat. Since Commander Xenon has perished, those who are still alive, take care of the bodies of our fallen allies. One person stammers. About that. Not a single one of them is actually dead. They're just buried in the ground. What's more, not even a single bone is broken. Lan's eyes widen in shock upon hearing this. What? Impossible. We got beaten this badly, and still no one is injured or dead. What the hell just happened? By now, the full moon has reached its peak, illuminating the entire forest. Sahan walks behind Lita and says, From here, they won't be able to chase us anymore. He glances to the side, breathing a sigh of relief. Thank goodness. If they chased us, it would be a real pain. The side effects of dimensional travel are greater than I thought. Compared to when I was hailed as a savior, my aura level is 1/10 of what it was, and my mana level is just a fraction. Sahan looks at the spiritual energy in his hand and wonders, when will I recover my peak condition? Suddenly, Lita cries out in pain. He asks worriedly, Are you okay? I thought your right arm was broken. Lita looks down at her trembling arm. Thank God, I got lucky. It could have been worse than just a broken bone. Sahan sees her smiling like that and feels bewildered inwardly. Is that something to be grateful for? What a weird girl. He finishes bandaging Lita and announces, All done. Hope it helps. She bows her head. Thank you, Mr. Sahan. He acts polite. Relax, it's no big deal. Lita happily retreats. Then, I'll take my leave. Farewell. Sahan watches her walk past and just stares blankly. His jaw drops and he yells, Where are you going? Weren't we going to travel together? Wait, how do you plan to get out of the forest with an injured arm like that? Lita calmly turns back and says, If I'm just more careful than usual then? Sahan cuts her off. No way. Just being careful won't solve the problem. I'll help you. I bear some responsibility for you being hunted, and I can't just leave an injured person behind. She gives him a blank look, not understanding what's going on. Lita looks up at the sky, thinking for a moment. Then she smiles brightly. All right, I'm counting on you, Mr. Sahan. He sees this and feels skeptical inwardly. Was this really something to ponder over for so long? Sahan scratches his head. By the way, drop the honorifics. Just calling me Sahan is fine. Lita complies. All right, Sahan. He is curious. So what are you going to do now? You won't be able to stay here anymore since your identity has been exposed. She hesitates. The nearest settlement is Gozen Village, but a search party might be sent there. Well then, let's cross this mountain and head to the city of trade. Kahan City. The scene shifts to the royal palace of the Lachine Kingdom. Someone is intently reading a book in the corner of the room. Suddenly, a voice calls out, Your Highness, making him turn around. That person bows and reports. The search party at Mount Fan has sent word. The scene shifts to a long hallway packed with bookshelves. In the middle is a small, dimly lit pathway. Then, someone slowly walks down the stairs inside. That person raises a hand, radiating red spiritual energy that opens a secret mechanism. Behind it, a large door is pushed open to both sides. This person is Lachine. He puts on a serious face, brooding amidst the swirling energy. Ahead is a messy and filthy laboratory. Suddenly, a voice calls out, Lachine, catching his attention. The young man in the holding cell struggles to continue. Can you still call yourself a hero while doing things like this? Lachine smirks. You must have ripened nicely over this half-month, descendant of Lawson. Do you know why the color of the magic circle right beneath your feet changed? A green magic circle means your mana conversion process is complete. The man screams in hatred. I feel sorry for those who worship you. Lixin. He looks amused. Who is the pathetic one here? Isn't it the one whose heart is about to be ripped out of his body? Hearing this, the Lawson descendants' eyes widen to the max. What? A second later, Lixin has already sent the guy to meet his maker. He coldly looks at the person in front of him, whose body is trembling violently. In no time, Lixin has harvested new mana, but he still isn't satisfied. Not enough. Lixin stands up and wonders. Is the method of draining and condensing mana from those with inferior bloodlines no longer viable? This much isn't enough to break the spatial barrier. He closes his eyes and mutters. As expected, I need more pure blood from the Lawson family. Suddenly, Lixin's pupils dilate as if sensing something ominous is about to happen. He recalls his soldiers' report and thinks. They reported that the mission failed. They were defeated by an unknown man and lost track of the target. Currently, he has black hair, black eyes, and looks like the Gone race. There are traces of otherworldly summoning magic, plus black hair and black eyes. Could it be? What am I thinking? How could that guy travel through space and time again? Even if he really did cross over, I would have noticed. There's no way he did that. The scene shifts to a city. A voice rings out. Is this Kahan City? Sahan walks next to Lita, talking nonstop. Kahan City used to be called Namkalam back when it was part of the Empire's territory. Huh? I didn't recognize it because the name was changed. So nostalgic. In the past, this place was used as our main base. She asks in surprise. This place? He confirms. Yeah, this is a commercial hub, right? So hiding here is very convenient since there are many races passing through. There's a race called the Gone race. They look very similar to Northeast Asians. Lita's head spins after hearing this. What now? She panics and shouts. People who look like you? Could they be the race from the rumors? The Phantom Thief Queen's shape-shifting technique. The shape-shifting technique, a combat skill where the user uses aura to control the air around their face to make it look different. Even a slight change is enough to make you look like someone else. It's known as the unique combat technique of the Phantom Thief Queen, Levion, along with her stealth skills. Sahan immediately refutes. That's a combat technique I created. I'm the one who taught it to Levion. What do you say? Want me to teach you? If you learn it, hiding will be a breeze. Lita quickly declines. No, I have no reason to accept help from you. Sahan sighs in exasperation. Seems like we haven't gotten any closer. Whatever. By the way, we need to find a place to stay first. She looks at his back as he turns away, thinking to herself. I am interested in learning that technique, but, TCH, Sahan glances back and asks, can we find a place to stay? Suddenly, he looks up, staring intently at the building in front of them. Lita is confused and calls out, Sahan, do you know that inn? His next answer leaves her stunned. No, there was no inn here last time. This place used to be the execution grounds. Sahan recalls the time he faced that dangling noose. He chuckles softly and says, this place has changed a lot. By some miracle, we ended up here. Guess we have to go inside, huh? Lita is bewildered and jumps, shouting, what? There are no ghosts in there, right? Under the clear blue sky, Sahan's voice rings out. If there are, then I'll get to see the people I've missed for so long. True to his word. They both walk into the inn. The grumpy innkeeper hands over the keys. Here, your room keys. I'm so sick of the hospitality business. Seeing this, he wonders. Why is he so angry? Lita hesitates. That's because. Sahan breaks into a cold sweat, points at his own face, and yells. What? Have I been speaking without honorifics this whole time? She sits on the bed and confirms. Yeah, even if you're a legendary hero, speaking without honorifics to someone you just met is a bit. I'm fine with it, but that old guy looked pretty offended. He holds his head, blaming himself. You're right. Last time I spoke of certain, there were very few people I needed to use honorifics with. I unconsciously spoke without them. So was I rude to a girl I had never met before? Lita replies like a bucket of cold water splashed right in his face. Too late now. Just keep speaking without honorifics. Sahan's face darkens. I'm sorry. She cuts in. More importantly, Sahan, we've safely arrived in Kahan City. Where were you originally planning to go? What are you going to do now? Sahan quickly lays out his plan. Me? I need time to adapt to this place, so I'm thinking of traveling with you for a while. Is that okay? Lita raises her hand to refuse. No. He is shocked and exclaims. That's blunt. Sahan is left speechless by her reasoning. I'm not the only native here, right? Besides, I'm a wanted person. So obviously, traveling with me will bring more harm than good. If you insist on coming with me, even though there's no clear reason to do so, then I'll have to wonder about your motives the whole time you're with me. I really don't need to do that with a frustrated mindset, right? His face stiffens as he silently admits. Right. That's true. But, Sahan sighs, his tone gloomy. I wasn't planning on bringing this up, but it seems I have no choice. Lita, without me, you will definitely be captured again immediately. If you use summoning magic to summon someone from another dimension, it causes a spatial tremor in this world. But in this case, I wasn't summoned. I came here on my own, so it caused almost no disturbance in this world. And I don't think anyone realized I crossed over. Besides, anyone who tries to summon an otherworldly being leaves a trace. Because of that, every time we move, there will be a slight vibration in space. The moment we leave a trace, the pursuit team will immediately track us down. Lita panics and interrupts. We're still leaving traces. So no matter how far we try to run, it's all useless. Sahan waves his hand to reassure her. Calm down. I was unconscious yesterday, so I couldn't do anything. But now I've blocked the vibrations and the magic. As long as this magic is active, no one will be able to track us. But the problem is, this magic has to be reactivated every 2 or 3 days. Do you understand now? Lita leans back. I absolutely need you to come with me. If that's the case. She stares at Sahan, raising a massive question. Why do you need me? The scene shifts to the capital of the Lachine Kingdom. Loizo, Xenon, burning with rage, shouts. Please give me one more chance to reclaim my honor. I stake my name on erasing this stain. Commander Anchan, I will definitely capture those cursed Lawsons that I let slip away that time. Anchan listens, pondering for a moment. He rests his chin on his hand and sighs. Look at me. Do you really think that's necessary? Even the king himself doesn't hold you responsible for failing those kinds of missions. And you're saying you'd rather return to the battlefield with untrained soldiers than be confined for a month? He insists. How can someone who disobeys orders be forgiven? I believe that reclaiming one's lost honor is the duty of a knight. Anchan's jaw drops at this declaration. He slams his hand on the table in praise. The true definition of a knight. Very impressive. All right, then go and reclaim the honor of a knight, Commander Xenon. Once done, he closes the door carefully. Xenon walks down the hallway, thinking, they'll need money to survive. Both of them are master swordsmen. If so, it's highly likely they'll take on freelance mercenary work. Considering the direction they went, their destination seems to be Kahan City. And there's only one place to register for job requests. If I use this information and pretend to look for them while investigating the requests they've taken, all right, I should start tracking them down. Honestly, I couldn't care less about the one with the Lawson bloodline. The person I need to check on is the man traveling with her. No matter how I look at it, he looks way too much like that person. There's no way that's possible. But is he really that person? I need to confirm it. I have to see it for myself. The scene shifts to a brightly lit house in the night. Lon bows respectfully. Welcome back, Lord Tick. Tick happily greets them. Thank you. Are these the people you mentioned? He looks at Lita and Sahan, confirming. That's right. These are the mercenaries that Galgon recommended to us. These are the freelance master swordsmen, Lita, Lon, and Sun Shatian. Lita glances over and whispers, You used to travel with someone named Sun Shatian? Sahan leans close to her ear. I just picked a random name that sounds like mine. Even if you accidentally call me by my real name, we can just brush it off. At this moment, Lon bows and introduces them. Both of them are master swordsmen. Warriors who can use aura are master swordsmen. These people are divided into 6 different ranks. Seed rank, those who can use aura to enhance their physical strength. Warrior rank, these are people who can infuse the metal weapons they are proficient with using aura to create an aura blade. Most master swordsmen are at this rank. Those who reach the knight rank can infuse aura into the armor they are wearing. Once reaching the master rank, they can infuse aura into non-metal weapons. Those above that level can infuse aura into the air to materialize a sword, known as the transcendent rank. In the history of Glorna, only a few people have been able to conquer these milestones to become aura masters. Divine rank master swordsman. Sahan is indeed a divine rank master swordsman, but due to the effects of dimensional travel, He has used up all his aura and mana. Sahan closes his eyes and laments inwardly. I only have enough aura to reach the warrior rank. How embarrassing. But Tick excitedly cheers. You're at the warrior rank? Truly impressive for someone so young. It's great to have you two here. Tomorrow, the combat squad will set out. You two go rest and wait until tomorrow morning. Not long after, he lies on the bed, groaning. Making money for travel is exhausting. These mercenary jobs. If it were the old days, I'd just pick a random noble and rob them. Lita, who is dusting off her sleeves, turns to ask, the legendary hero used to steal from others? Sahan dejectedly reveals, the girl I fell in love with was a phantom thief. She imagines a thrilling romantic story between two worlds, a dangerous reincarnated first love, through his words. And it wasn't just simple theft. There was some justice in our actions. All the nobles in the empire were villains. Seems like we can't do things like that anymore, huh? I guess I have no other choice. It's best if I do my best and earn money legally by taking others' lives and making their blood splatter. Lita panics and exclaims, anyone who hears that will think differently. Sahan changes the subject. The quest request is to suppress monsters, right? She nods. It seems a pack of fire wolves has appeared near the basin territory. Although they gathered a combat squad to eliminate them, they still failed due to a lack of forces. And now they've decided to hire outside freelance master swordsmen to help them wipe out the wolves. He casually repeats, wolves that breathe fire, huh? It's been a long time. 13 years ago, the first monster I faced was also a fire wolf. My friends and I were trying to hunt them down in the forest, and suddenly, Sahan recalls the words of his old comrades. You're too strong, Sahan. You're loved by too many people around you. We will be the ones to shape the future of this world. They make him freeze for a few seconds, his eyes full of hatred. Sahan sits up, changing the subject. This mission will be a good warm-up. Since I've lost a lot of aura, these wolves will be a fitting opponent. Lita is worried. But Sahan, are you sure you've really lost your power? You were able to beat me with just a spoon and easily handled the pursuit team. Sahan raises a finger and affirms. That's what I mean. I needed a spoon to take you down. Do you know how much weaker I've gotten? Inwardly, he thinks. Even though she's right, it makes me feel frustrated. He spreads his arms and explains. Anyway, it doesn't matter that my aura has weakened, because I have experience to make up for it. Just because they're at a lower level doesn't mean the winner of the multinational tournament will lose to anyone. She asks in confusion. Lower what? In a multinational tournament? Sahan quickly brushes it off. Never mind. Let's go to sleep. Go to your room. The scene shifts to the next morning. The sun has reached its peak. Tick speaks seriously. It's morning. Those monsters, they dare set foot in our territory? I'll make sure they all pay the price. Follow me if you're willing. I, Tick of Basin, knighted by King Gashida, will personally take care of you. Sahan stands in the crowd, boredly watching the soldiers cheer. They are rowdy. That guy is fully equipped with armor, even though it won't help much against the monsters. It's heavy too. Sahan whispers to Lita. Seems like the knights in these parts are still the same as before, huh? Speaking of which, how's your arm? Lita quickly replies. Thanks to you healing it with aura, it's gotten better. He advises. Thank goodness. Remember to get into a combat stance first, okay? She is momentarily startled. Why? The people walking in front look around. Sahan reveals. I smell sulfur near us. As soon as he finishes speaking, a shadow darts past into the bushes, making someone jump and scream. Tick panics and orders. Everyone, stop. Everyone, prepare for battle. The crowd is terrified as the beasts charge at them. The pack is here. He immediately draws his sword. Come at me, filthy beasts of the night. Your dark flames won't even dare stop my sword. Before he can finish his sentence, Tick is sent flying, blood splattering, by one of the beasts. Sahan stands to the side and criticizes. That's why you should take off your armor. You took a hit you could have dodged. Tick lies on the ground and argues back. How can a knight fight if he can't even equip proper armor? Meanwhile, the others fight the fire wolves while hearing shouts. Be careful. Hold the formation. We can still win. This time we have master swordsmen with us. Just as they say that, Sahan sends one to meet its maker. He glances over and mutters to himself. They're easier to kill than I thought. If I really got serious, I could handle all of them by myself. But I won't do that because it would attract too much attention. Forget it. Do they really need mercenaries just to deal with these monsters? Suddenly, the people turn around and scream. They look at a ferocious fire wolf charging at them in terror. What is that? With its massive body, a scar over one eye, and surging spiritual energy, the crowd instantly recognizes it. It's the alpha fire wolf. Sahan bares his teeth in a grin. I see. So there's a commander. In that case, Sahan grips the sword in his hand tightly, facing the fierce beasts. Meanwhile, the other knights quickly run away, screaming. It's a demonic beast. Run. Tick shouts loudly to encourage them. Don't panic. This is an opportunity. If we take down the alpha, they'll lose their will to fight. I'll leave it to you two. Son, Lita, I'll protect the soldiers. Leaving him completely speechless. Sahan complains. So we have to do all the dangerous work? Being a mercenary is hard work. Lita, you handle the alpha. I'll block the other demonic beasts from getting close. Hearing this, she startles and lets out a cry. Then, he faces the charging demonic beast and asks, I really hate running away. We can handle these wolves, right? Sahan knocks it aside and reminds her. Now's the time. Lita quickly charges forward, letting out a loud shout. The alpha fire wolf roars fiercely as it sees her leaping towards it. Immediately, it unleashes a blazing blue flame. Lita hastily ducks, dodging to the side. A second later, she lunges, slashing a line across its body. The wolf gets even more enraged, growling a few times. Lita doesn't give up, her eyes full of determination. She delivers a direct strike right to the top of its head. Seeing this, Sahan lets out an ooh. As expected, you're pretty strong. I don't have to worry about. Before he can finish, his pupils widen to the max. The wolf suddenly radiates a terrifying surge of spiritual energy. It leaves even Lita stunned. The wolf instantly emits blue lightning. It blasts her straight backward. Taking advantage of the opportunity, it grabs Lita and runs off. Sahan panics and shouts loudly. Lita, returning to the previous night. She asks, Sahan, why do you need me? Sahan ponders for a moment and then speaks. I think I should be honest to prevent things from going too far later. The first time I was summoned to this world, it was by sacrificing the hearts of the Lawson royalty. That's why I could stay in Tyranno regardless of the Emperor's will. However, the way I came to this world this time is more like a summoning ritual than a heart sacrifice pact. My existence in this world is maintained through the connection between me and the summoner. Back to reality, Sahan grits his teeth and runs, thinking. In other words, if Lita dies, I will be forcibly sent back to Earth. By now, she has passed out, her face full of pain. He bites his lip, blaming himself. I can't run any faster because I'm out of mana. I have to run while keeping the shape-shifting magic slowly fading. His heart aches. I waited 10 years to return here. I even prepared myself to fall naked from the sky just to come back to Glorna. Do you think I'll let myself return in such a humiliating way? Sahan's sword is now gathering spiritual energy. He points his weapon forward, summoning his ultimate move, Dragon Sword Aura. This commotion makes the fire wolf's eyes glow brightly. Then, a blinding light shoots straight at it with an echoing shout. Sahan charges, slashing a sharp line across the fire wolf's neck. He lets out a heavy breath as blood splatters everywhere behind him. Sahan lies down next to Lita, his voice trembling. We survived. I almost went back to my hometown while trying to relax. Time passes by. The forest at night is unusually quiet. He sits in front of the campfire and asks, How's your body? You got bitten by a demonic beast. Does it hurt? Lita turns over and replies, My whole body aches, but I don't think they intended to kill me. Come to think of it, wolves have a habit of bringing live humans to their alpha. A master swordsman like me was treated as food. Hearing this, Sahan chuckles. She wonders, It's my first time seeing a wolf use lightning. Or is it a mutant demonic beast? He replies nonchalantly, Whatever. We killed it, so it'll be fine. Lita suddenly shifts her eyes as if something is bothering her. Sahan is slightly surprised when he hears her call. Hey, Sahan. I didn't think I needed to know before, but now I want to know since we're comrades. Why are you hiding your identity? The 6 current kingdoms were all founded by your allies. Wherever you go, you'd be treated as an honored royal guest. He gives her a blank look. An honored royal guest? I'm lucky I didn't get a death sentence. Right after killing the Emperor, I was stabbed in the back by my comrades. I was forcibly sent back to Earth by a dimensional spell. It all happened in just a few minutes, but I still remember it vividly, even though 10 years have passed. I can't understand why they betrayed me. Not a single one of them hesitated. It definitely wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. At the time, I thought, what the hell? Why didn't I realize their true intentions after years of traveling together? As soon as he finishes speaking, the atmosphere becomes quiet in front of the flickering fire. Sahan observes Lita and wonders. Is she shocked? Probably. She just got dragged into a conflict with all the kingdoms in Glorna. She claps her hands in realization. So, you came back for revenge? That's why you're hiding your identity. He is a bit confused. Did you understand what I just said? Lita nods. Yeah. What's wrong? Sahan throws his hands up and shouts. How are you so calm? I just said I'm going to fight against all 6 kingdoms of Glorna. Lita explains. Well, all 6 kingdoms of Glorna are my enemies anyway. I've been fighting against Glorna for the past 10 years. I didn't have a choice to begin with, so I'll just do my best. He is left speechless. Such optimism in the face of despair. She happily says, I inherited it from my dad. Sahan grimaces. From the Emperor? Lita quickly denies it. Not that guy. My real dad. Ken. Suddenly, his body stiffens as if he noticed something. Sahan turns to the side and warns. Wait. Something is heading this way. The two of them stand up together. A voice rings out. Someone is coming? Lita panics. Do you think it's the enemy? Sahan looks in that direction and replies. I'm not sure. They couldn't have followed us all the way here. Maybe it's the soldiers from the territory that Xenon left behind? Better safe than sorry. She softly agrees. Right. Just then, a silhouette appears. The person slowly emerges from the bushes. The two freeze at the words spoken. Excuse me. Sorry, may I ask for directions? Lita and Sahan's jaws drop, unable to speak. Looking at that face, they immediately recognize him. The captain of the Lachine investigation squad. Xenon points at his own face and lets out a huh. A voice rings out. Unbelievable. She quickly draws her sword. Lita coldly slashes a line in front of him, making Xenon panic and scream. He dodges and explains. Wait, I don't intend to fight. By now, Sahan is right behind Xenon. He summons mana in his hand and says, maybe so, but just in case, I have to knock you out now. Sahan instantly knocks him high into the air. Xenon grits his teeth and thinks, this skill. I knew my deduction was right. A second later, he clenches his fists, generating spiritual energy around his body. He is also quite surprised by Xenon's skill. He quickly lands on the ground. Sahan wonders, how could you break that skill? That's a skill I originally used when I was young. Most of my old comrades don't even know about it. He stares at Xenon and demands, who are you? His breathing becomes increasingly difficult. He mutters, I'm certain. Sahan is surprised to see Xenon reach into the pouch on his hip. He asks loudly, what the hell? What are you opening that pouch for? A second later, Sahan's expression freezes. He pulls out an object with a blinding light. Xenon holds up the piece of fabric with both hands, carefully shouting, these boxers, are they yours? The blinding golden light leaves Lita and Sahan dumbfounded. He observes Xenon's smug face and thinks, boxers? Sahan's face darkens as he orders, Lita, take him out. He hastily stops them. Wait, it's a misunderstanding. I was so nervous I misspoke. He flares up in anger. I bet the thing that's wrong isn't your words, but those boxer briefs. Die? Sahan still holds them up and shouts, I surrender. I surrender. Sahan furiously yells, why are you waving my boxers instead of a white flag? Lita, take him out. I'll back you up. At this moment, the words sung Sahan on the boxers catch his eye. Sahan stammers, that's Korean. And my handwriting too. Are those really my boxers? Xenon blushes and confirms. That's right. You are Sung Sahan, the savior from another world, right? I know I'm not mistaken. He covers his face and groans inwardly. Oh, I forgot. Shape-shifting is useless. He excitedly asks, do you still remember me? I'm Xenon, the person you saved at Ven Village 12 years ago. Sahan is stunned. Ven Village? 12 years ago. He recalls the time he stood in front of him during that fierce battle and recounts. You used that skill to defeat all the invading royal army and save my life. Later I found out the person who saved me was the hero known as the savior from another world. After learning aura and becoming a master swordsman, I finally understood how Sihan channeled aura throughout his body to create a powerful suppression. It's a skill with deep meaning for Mr. Sihan, who doesn't want to kill even if the opponent is an enemy. He forces a smile and thinks to himself, I remember now. At the time, I was just testing out a new skill. What a delusional interpretation, even worse than a piece of wood. Huh. If he's the kid from 12 years ago. Sihan is confused. You're younger than me? Xenon smiles brightly. I'm 22 this year. He immediately criticizes. You look older than your actual age. Xenon refutes. Appearance is just a shell. Isn't it what's inside that counts? Sihan mocks. Where did you hear such crazy talk? He reveals. You left those words behind back then. Sihan remembers when he was a middle schooler and spouted that line. Appearance is just a shell. It's what's inside that counts. He coughs up blood inwardly. That was me. He quickly brushes it aside. All right, fine. I know you admire me. But even so, carrying underwear around everywhere is a bit. Can you please stop holding that? Xenon excitedly cheers. It's not just this. From miniature statues to all the books related to Mr. Sihan as a memorable hero. The biography of Sung Sihan, Imagining Crossing Two Worlds, a dangerous otherworldly romance. New philosophy on the savior from another world. And even paintings of Mr. Sihan. I collect everything related to Mr. Sihan. Hearing this, his nose twitches violently, and his face darkens. He continues to introduce. Among them, these boxers are very special. You wore them when you defeated the mad tyrant. I saved up 6 months' salary to buy them. Sihan breaks into a cold sweat, biting his lip and groaning inwardly. I get it, so please put those boxers away. Xenon, kneel. He raises his sword and continues. I swore an oath to Emperor Lachine only because he used to be Mr. Sihan's comrade. Please allow Xenon Slay to become Mr. Sihan's sword. He is quite surprised. What will you do if I oppose Lachine? He replies seriously. If so, he will also be my enemy. Xenon's eyes are now incredibly resolute. Sihan sees this and thinks. That look. He seems very serious. He rubs the back of his neck and sighs. All right. I guess since you know my identity, I can't just let you go either. Sihan reaches out and grabs the hilt of his sword. He points the sword at the ground, standing in front of Xenon, and declares, I will accept your sword. Xenon. Tick smiles with satisfaction after hearing his name called. Xenon clenches his fists and shouts, I will do my best, Mr. Sihan. I won't let you down. Let me handle the remaining wolf. Sihan points in the other direction and says, That's already taken care of. Don't you see the alpha's corpse over there? He stammers in confusion. But wolves usually travel in pairs. Weren't you using the male's corpse to lure the female? Sihan's pupils widen for a moment. Both he and Lita freeze on the spot. Right at that moment, the female wolf appears. Sihan groans. Talk about perfect timing. The female wolf emits a murderous aura from its glowing eyes. Sihan warns while blaming himself. I'll let you go. There are 2 alphas. Why didn't I think of that? Even a veteran like Sihan forgets these basics? He argues back loudly. Why not? It's been 10 years. Ask a lawyer to solve a math equation. Do you think they can solve it? She asks in confusion. Math. Sihan scratches his head. Just an earth term. Xenon steps in. Mr. Sihan, please let me handle it alone. I'll show you my skills. He narrows his eyes and agrees. Go for it. He immediately points his giant sword at the fire wolf. Xenon holds it up to block, radiating a murderous aura, thinking to himself, I finally met the hero I've admired my whole life and was given the chance to offer my sword. But what image did I show that hero? He dejectedly recalls the past. Stuck in the ground. Twice. Xenon suddenly lets out a loud shout, summoning golden aura, and mutters, I will show Mr. Sihan my true capabilities and win back his favor. Lita can't help but marvel. That aura is amazing. He sighs again. Why is he showing off so much? At this moment, the wolf charges, letting out a fierce roar. He quickly slashes a line across its body. Xenon's pupils glow brightly as he yells at the top of his lungs. Then he frantically unleashes sharp slashes at the fire wolf. She furrows her brows in secret admiration. Formidable. He isn't pushed back by the massive demonic beast, but is actually pushing it back. I see. He was holding back against me. Sihan rubs his chin and says, Lita, you're already very strong for your age, But this kid is pretty good too. He's quite talented. Lita questions. You call that pretty good? Then what is a genius? Sahan closes his eyes and replies. The people I met before were all geniuses. I'm not a genius. I'm just special because I'm an earthling. The true genius is Levion. She pouts at him, saying nothing. Just then, blazing red spiritual energy pours out of the fire wolf's mouth. It shoots that flame straight forward. Xenon stands in that surge of energy and roars. How can these flames touch me? He leaps right above the fire wolf's head, shouting loudly, Let's end this. Lita's jaw drops in awe. Sahan is skeptical. That stance looks like. He talks a big game. A second later, Xenon is struck directly by a bolt of lightning. He just falls to the ground, smoke billowing. He crosses his arms and thinks, Deja vu? She panics and touches her chin. Are you going to say I was defeated just as miserably? Xenon gets up in shock and yells. What is this? Why can a wolf use lightning attacks? Lita draws her weapon and suggests. Let me handle it this time. Sahan stops her. No, that's enough. If the opponent uses magic, let me finish it. She looks enlightened and exclaims. I understand. Because Sahan is from another world. The reason why the Mad Tyrant's monster army became a terror was probably because of their strength, but the main reason is that magic is useless against beings from another world. No matter how strong a mage is, they are nothing against existences from another world. The same goes for Sung Sahan, a human from another world. The wolf takes the opportunity to continue spewing terrifying flames. Yet he walks alone through the flames completely unharmed. Sorry, but it's useless. We were able to survive when we first came here thanks to absolute magic nullification. I was going to avoid it because there were too many people around, but now I have nothing to worry about. As smug as he is, in the blink of an eye, Sahan is struck by lightning again, crying out in pain. Xenon's jaw drops witnessing this scene. Lita is completely speechless. She thinks, Deja vu. He immediately yells, Don't copy me. What is going on? Why is magic working on me? This has never happened before. Sahan grits his teeth, his cheeks flushed red. He unleashes a beautiful slash, sending blood splattering everywhere. He roars, You embarrassed me. A few seconds later, the wolf collapses to the ground. Sahan bites his lip and wonders. I'm sure I was fine standing in its flames, so why was I injured by the lightning? Lita and Xenon rush over. He asks worriedly, Are you okay, Mr. Sahan? He says in annoyance. Drop the mister, just call me Sahan. It's not like we met online or something. Xenon exclaims in confusion. Huh, I wouldn't dare. Suddenly, a bright light radiates from the fire wolf's body, catching their attention. Its body gradually turns into small fragments floating away in the air. The three of them just stare, watching the fire wolf's body slowly vanish. Sahan is stunned. What the hell is that? I don't understand. The scene shifts to the next day. The sky is clear. Tick happily welcomes his guests. Oh, you're still alive. Thank God. Thanks to you guys. All the demonic beasts have disappeared from the territory. Here is your quest reward. 600 silver coins. Once done, Sahan holds the money and turns to Lita. If we think about our future endeavors, this amount is nothing. But getting this much for just one quest is great, isn't it? Should we take 5 or 6 quests and finish them all at once? She shakes her head. No way. It's not like there are always quests available. We were just lucky to get an extra one this time. Hearing this, he looks visibly deflated. I guess so. Xenon sees the two and walks over. Mr. Sahan. Sahan, did you finish the quest? You said you needed money, right? Here's 100 gold coins. Lita and Sahan look at the bag of money, their eyes wide open. He asks suspiciously, 100 gold coins? Where did you get that much money? Xenon bites his lip and hesitates. It's from the holy relic left behind by the savior from another world. The boxers. I sold them. Sahan's face darkens. He blames himself. Why did I even ask? He cries out and continues. As long as it helps Sahan. Lita stares at him and adds. It seems Sahan's boxers are very valuable. He shouts in embarrassment. Don't look at me. It's not expensive because I wore them. Those were a limited edition. Xenon suddenly asks. So what are you going to do now? This much should be enough. I don't think you need to work as a mercenary here anymore. Sahan opens the coin pouch, reaches in, and ponders. From here, we can go to 3 kingdoms, right? I still haven't decided where to go, but I'll go to where the weakest one is. As soon as he says that, his eyes light up. Lita, and he turned to look at the coin, Sahan's words echoing in their ears. I didn't expect to see that face again like this. All right, I've decided. Our destination is the north. He observes the familiar face engraved on it and emphasizes. To the Gashina Kingdom. The scene shifts to the laboratory in the Lachine Kingdom. Chunin appears through an illusion mirror and speaks. Emperor Lachine. It's Grandon Day. He wonders. Long time no see, Mage Chunan. Today isn't the regular reporting day. Why are you contacting me? The old man hesitates. Oh, regarding the disposal of test subjects 11 and 12, I don't think we need to hire anyone anymore. It seems the Basin Kingdom handled it themselves. Lachine sighs. Is that so? Understandable, since 11 and 12 aren't particularly strong monsters. Bannon struggles to speak. Also, we lost test subject 1 too. This statement makes him furious. He shouts. What? Mr. Chunan, how are you people doing your jobs? How dare you call yourself the head of the Ivory Tower when you're not even qualified? The 4 magic towers of Glorna have existed for thousands of years, consisting of the red, blue, black, and white towers. The first emperor of the Lachine Kingdom, who was also the strongest mage in history, gathered all the knowledge and wisdom about magic scattered across Glorna and established the 4 towers to pass it down to future generations. All knowledge of magic is categorized and distributed to different floors. Depending on their level, they can learn the magic on that floor. If they meet the requirements, they can go to a higher floor to learn more advanced magic. Meaning, the floor of the Ivory Tower a person reaches represents their skill as a mage. The 9th floor, Master of the Red Tower. Lachine. He scowls and scolds. Do you remember the only reason you were allowed to become the head of the Ivory Tower despite being unqualified is because everyone who was qualified was executed? Do you want to be kicked out of that position? A fellow mage of your level is on the 8th floor. Bannon, I'll give you one last chance. Make sure to quickly dispose of test subject 1 and erase all traces. The old man fearfully complies. Yes, I won't mess up this time. After speaking, Lachine's image also disappears. Bannon stands frozen, letting out a sigh. He then turns away and mutters, At least I got one more chance. The scene shifts to Loizo, the capital of the Gashina Kingdom. Someone strides quickly down the hallway. Suzy timidly opens the door and calls out softly, Your Majesty. He happily exclaims, What is it? Suzy, want to come have a drink? Gashida, the first emperor of the Gashina Kingdom. The old man bows and asks, Your Majesty, are you throwing another party? He laughs. Come on, what's more fun for a man than this? The days of being hunted by the Empire feel like a distant dream. Suzy anxiously advises, I'm worried you're partying too much and neglecting state affairs. Your Majesty, I fear your subjects will start to despise you. Gashida raises his wine glass to reassure him. Don't worry, I'm not a bad emperor anyway. I'm using my own money. It's not like I'm being extravagant. The old man is left speechless. The problem is all that money comes from your subjects. He crosses his arms, looking smug. I don't impose a 60% tax on the people like the previous emperor did, right? Suzy thinks to himself. You impose a 50% tax. Gashida spreads his arms, acting self-righteous. I didn't burn down hundreds of villages, forcing tens of thousands of people into slavery, right? The old man thinks to himself. You punished hundreds of villages and forced tens of thousands to join the army. He talks nonstop. Ultimately, I deserve a grand reward after overthrowing that emperor, right? You remember how cruel the previous emperor was, right? How dare you compare him to me? After all, beggars can't be choosers. The old man raises his voice. However, he cuts in and calls out. Old man. His face darkens, his tone sharp. I think you should leave now. The old man is terrified by these words and turns pale. Suzy can only bow and retreat. Yes, Your Majesty. The old man stands behind the door, crying. He's going too far. The emperor is definitely a powerhouse on the battlefield during wartime, but he lacks the qualities of a ruler. If only there was a vassal who could convince the emperor to become a better ruler. Inside, Gashida looks outside and mutters. I was having fun, now my mood is ruined. Should I force that old man into early retirement? Suddenly, someone pushes the door wide open and calls out loudly. Your Majesty. Kitten happily flatters him. The savior of the world. The hero among heroes. It is an honor to meet you, Emperor Gashida. He perks up. Duke Ketan. He walks over and nudges him. Sorry to bother you, but there's something that needs your attention. Please excuse me. Gashida laughs heartily. Sure, I've always liked you. Ketan, what is it? He hands over a stack of documents. Oh, nothing much. Just some official dispatches you need to handle. He furrows his brows, holds up a piece of paper to glance at it. Then Gashida tosses the paper aside, turns around, and says, You handle it. An emperor's duty is to protect those who cannot protect themselves. I don't have time for these trivial matters. The scene shifts to the western outskirts of Loizo, the capital of the Lachine Kingdom. In front of them is a rather old-looking house. Lita speaks up. So you actually bought a house in Loizo, huh? Sahan puts his hands on his hips and replies. Yeah, if we stay at an inn for too long, it'll attract a lot of attention, right? Just consider this our temporary base of operations. Xenon agrees. That's right. Sahan. But, he asks, is there a problem? He clenches his fists, looking sympathetic. To think the great Sahan has to stay in such a shabby place. If I knew this would happen, I would have sold my house to help pay for a better place. Meanwhile, Sahan and she are already walking away. Let's go inside. Inside the messy house. He mutters. Not as bad as I thought. Lita also agrees. Yeah, I think with a little cleaning, it'll be perfectly livable. Suddenly, the two feel a silhouette radiating murderous intent behind them. Xenon furiously yells. This place is cursed. We can't stay in a place like this. Don't bother me while I clean. Not long after, the whole house echoes with loud crashes and blinding flashes of light. Sahan and she widen their eyes, standing outside watching in bewilderment. Is that a normal sound when someone cleans? In a flash, the place is spotless. He calls out, All done, Mr. Sahan. Lita, even though it's still shabby, but at least it's good enough for us to stay. He drops his jaw in awe. Amazing. Xenon rubs his nose proudly. We just need to buy some furniture and it'll be fine. There are still some spots that aren't clean. Sahan is exasperated. Xenon, why are you so obsessed with cleaning? She rubs her chin, thinking, if I ever have to fight Xenon, I'll spit on the ground. He grins in satisfaction. Anyway, good job. This is a very good start. The face of Gashida instantly pops into Sahan's mind. He excitedly exclaims, Now that we have a base, let's get ready to deal with Jinda. Xenon looks at his palms and recounts. Currently, the continent of Glorna is ruled by 6 kingdoms. They are divided into 2 strong, 2 medium, and 2 weak nations. The 2 superpowers are the Lachine Kingdom and the Holy State of Nakia. The 2 nations with medium power are the Siphon and Farron kingdoms. Both the Gashina and Apalt kingdoms are the weakest. The last 2 kingdoms have stated that they are satisfied with their current policies, so they haven't expanded in the past 10 years. Because of this, there have been many major conflicts between the kingdoms. The most serious incident recently was the Kahan War. It was a conflict between the Lachine Kingdom and the Holy State of Nakia over the right to rule Kahan City. Fearing this would lead to a large-scale war, the other kingdoms intervened. In a rather violent way. At that time, Gashida loudly declared, No matter who it is, if it's about the control of Kahan City, I will fight against them. He continues, Even though they are the 2 strongest kingdoms, their power isn't that much greater than the rest, so Jinda's intervention was enough to stop them. In the end, the 2 kingdoms came to an agreement with the Gashina kingdom, dividing the control of Kahan City among the 3. Sahan rests his chin on his hand and marvels. So you mean they were just bickering with each other? Not bad. I didn't expect them to have a good relationship anyway. When it comes to power, there will definitely be a distinction between gains and losses. After all, the people who chased me away in the first place couldn't possibly be good people. Xenon clenches his fists and yells. That's right. They are wicked people who used schemes to eliminate the true hero. I can't believe I swore an oath to people like that. I was so naive. He stops him. Hey, I'm not dead yet. They didn't eliminate me. Sahan leans to the side and hesitates. Anyway, he turns to look at her panting heavily and asks, How's the training going? Lita? She shifts her eyes, her voice weak. Sahan. Well? Lita grits her teeth, turning into an ugly person with the shape-shifting technique, making him spit out his water. She turns back and complains. I failed again. This is pretty hard. My original appearance comes back immediately. What's wrong? Sahan holds his stomach, his whole body shaking. Nothing. Don't be so hasty. Just stay calm and treat it like an invisible hand covering your face. And make it feel like your aura is hiding your face. Instead of thinking that the aura will change your face, think of it as putting on a disguise with invisible energy, and then use your aura to lock it in place. Lita narrows her eyes and calls out softly, Sahan, this is the third time you've said that. Can't you explain it differently? I don't understand what you're saying at all. Sahan scratches his head. To be honest, I'm not sure either. I'm just telling you exactly how Levion explained it. She looks confused. So you're not explaining it the way you learned it? Sahan admits. I can't. Because, making Xenon and her incredibly curious. He points his thumb at himself and says, I'm an Earthling. Earthlings and Glorna people have the same body shape. However, there is a distinct difference between them, and that is how they perceive aura and magic. Because they are born without aura, Glorna people have to train rigorously to be able to sense and control it. To compare, it's like finding something they need in a wardrobe they can't look inside. But for an Earthling like Sahan, it's like having a light shining inside the wardrobe. He raises his hands, radiating a blinding aura. I had the ability to use aura right from the start. Same with magic. Because of that, I was able to perfect my aura and magic skills to their peak in just 3 years. Lita is jealous. What the hell? So it's a cheat. It's so unfair that you're an Earthling. Sahan forces a smile. That's why I said I'm not a genius. But according to Lashin's research, he said it's because I'm from another world, not because I'm an Earthling. Something about my body and senses being reset because I traveled through dimensions. She criticizes. I can't believe you could achieve such masterful skills just by traveling through space. Just as I thought. It's a scam. He waves his hand dismissively. Anyway, this is why I can teach you but can't explain it clearly. So try to learn it yourself. Lita stammers. If by chance, making Sahan open his eyes wide to look. She poses a massive question. If a Glorna person went to Earth and came back, would they gain the same abilities? He is stunned for a moment. Doesn't know how to answer. Then Sahan replies, I don't know. Right at that moment, the ground shakes violently. The three of them panic, stumbling as they look at the tremor. Lita frantically shouts, What's happening? Xenon deduces. Is it an earthquake? He panics and refutes. No, don't tell me. This energy. The scene shifts elsewhere. The ground is shattered, dust everywhere. An injured person lies on the ground, crying out in pain. Meanwhile, a giant monster appears from behind. People run away, screaming, Help me. It opens its mouth, revealing sharp teeth. The monster raises its head, letting out a terrifying roar. The crowd is in total chaos. It's the monsters. Run. Suddenly, a girl accidentally trips and falls hard. The monster immediately reaches out its hand with sharp claws. In the nick of time, Sahan rushes in and blocks it with his sword. In the eyes of others, Sahan looks like this. He glances back and asks, Are you okay? Xenon holds the hilt of his sword behind his back and exclaims, Oh my god, looks like there are at least 30 of them. Sahan looks in that direction and adds, I can't believe monsters would charge into the city like this. How bad is the national government system? He bites his lip, thinking, How could monsters appear right in the middle of the city? And they're the kind that usually live deep in the mountains, too. Very suspicious. Sahan faces them and instructs. I don't like drawing attention to myself, but let's save the people first. Lita and Xenon shout in unison. Understood. He grits his teeth, charging straight at one near him. She and he. Each takes a side, unleashing sharp slashes at them. Suddenly, a foot stomps hard on the ground behind the three of them. The leader of the soldiers shouts, Stop! Lita immediately recognizes them. They are Knights of Gashina. Sahan guesses. Looks like they finally arrived. Thank goodness. It seems there won't be any more casualties. All they need to do is handle the remaining monsters. Before he can finish, they are completely surrounded in a circle by them. The leader yells, Didn't we tell you to stop? From now on, the Knights will take charge of this area. Civilians, step back immediately. She angrily retorts, What did you say? Are those the words you should be saying when you see people dying here? Instead of stopping us, you should be killing the monsters. The group points their swords at the three of them. He roars, Kimni, didn't we tell you to step back? This is the king's order. Are you going to defy the king's order? Seeing this, Xenon turns and asks, What should we do? Suddenly, Sahan's eyes widen to the max. He instantly turns his head back. From a distance, someone approaches with a blazing aura. Sahan grits his teeth, thinking, this familiar presence. I'm certain. The firm footsteps and the surge of spiritual energy rising in the air. He senses that aura. He affirms inwardly, it's that bastard's aura. Gashida speaks up. How dare those monsters touch my people? There's nothing to worry about, my people. I will protect everyone now. Gashida confidently orders. Knights, protect the citizens. I will handle them. The soldiers stand in front of the citizens and cheer. Yes, Your Majesty. Sahan, hidden in the crowd, bites his lip and mutters. Gashida. He bares his teeth in a grin. I've been feeling pretty stiff these past few days. I will kill all of you. You monsters. Everyone watching is in awe. Unbelievable. He's holding 2 giant axes in his hands. Gashida charges in, slashing 2 monsters. He laughs loudly as their blood splatters. You guys are so pathetic. You measly monsters. Seeing this, the monsters also freeze for a moment. The monsters immediately turn and run away. Gashida glares after them, cursing. You dare run away? He lifts a foot. Don't even think about it. Then Gashida stomps hard on the ground, summoning a magic circle full of spiritual energy from all directions. Xenon's jaw drops. Could that be the War Seal? This is my first time seeing it in person. Lita repeats the words. War Seal? He confirms. That's right. Only a master swordsman above the transcendent level can use it. It's a type of magic seal that uses combat energy. At this moment, he pulls his fist back to gather momentum. Take this. Then, Gashida's punch becomes gigantic, blasting the monsters far away with his ultimate move, Giant Beast. The citizens immediately cheer in excitement. He took down all the monsters. Lita covers her mouth and whispers, he truly is a monster. Xenon rubs his chin. Is this the power of a transcendent master swordsman? Meanwhile, Sahan furrows his brows, assessing. Now I grasp the situation. Gashida. This guy? To win the trust of the people, he orchestrated this whole thing. The invading monsters were just an extravagant show to stage him protecting the citizens. That's also why they stopped us, because we weren't allowed to defeat the monsters before the king arrived. Despite the truth, this method still works on the people. But I didn't think Gashida would pull a stunt like this. Although aggressive and simple-minded, he has beliefs that aren't easily shaken. But who would have thought he'd stoop so low just to be popular? Sahan bites his lip, his face darkening. He groans inwardly. That genuine expression. Is that guy really that good at acting? Meanwhile, the citizens praise him endlessly. You truly are the strongest. Lishin, you saved hundreds of lives today. Hooray for the revolutionary hero. Sahan is a bit curious. That guy? Could it be? He looks at his excited face and wonders. Does he not know this is staged? Maybe this is a masterpiece orchestrated by his subordinates. They are toying with state affairs and pulling off these clownish stunts just to win the king's favor. Good lord, I'd rather he be corrupt. I already knew he was an idiot before. Suddenly, Gashida shifts his eyes back with a serious expression. Seeing this, he startles and clicks his tongue. He stares intently at Sahan and Xenon, thinking, that young man. This is the first time I've seen him, but he doesn't look like just an ordinary person. Gashida bites his lip, staring for a while. Suddenly, the soldiers speak up. Your Majesty, we should return to the castle. He nods. All right. Gashida rests his axe on his shoulder, smirking inwardly. I'm sure it's not a problem. Then everyone cheers again. Hooray for our king. Sahan leans forward, thinking, I know he's stupid, but his physique is still like a moving fortress. Exactly the same as years ago. Even though the world has changed, Jinda's skills haven't faded one bit. It's not time for me to reveal myself yet. For now, I must act cautiously and prepare everything perfectly. 10 days. Since Sung Sahan and his companions settled in the capital of Loizo, Lita enrolled in a basic class for shape-shifting energy and reached a level where she could partially alter her impression. Xenon learned more about the mountain breaker technique from Sahan, the one who created this combat method. And he, who focused on leveling up his combat energy and magic, was able to release an amount 3 times larger since they returned to Glorna. While they were independently training to hone their skills and quietly waiting for the right moment, a notice board was quickly plastered with a giant poster by the soldiers. The content reads, currently, In the Burn region, cruel heretics are controlling a group of monsters to cause chaos among the people and throw the whole world into turmoil. The wise king has issued an order to punish them. The kingdom is currently summoning heroes from near and far. If you wish to contribute to this honorable battle, step forward and join the expedition team to build your reputation. Sahan looks around. Heretics? I can't see very clearly. Xenon puts his hand on his head and adds, it's the spatial cult. During the reign of the Mad Emperor, in many parts of Glorna, there was a ruling group of heretics who worshipped Hios, the true god of the outside world. I heard they were conquered by the Lashin Empire, but they must have recently regrouped. It says here they are using a new doctrine to seduce people. He clicks his tongue. No matter the era, it seems people's belief in religion never changes, huh? Sahan's face goes blank when he reveals. Now they are called the reincarnated Sahan. He turns and yells at Lita. Huh, what are they called? Xenon explains. The savior from another world, Sung Sahan, is actually the son of the outside world god, Hios. And he was sent to Glorna to punish a world full of deceit, destroying the Lawson Empire. Sung Sahan wanted to bring the residents of Glorna to a place called Earth, but was stopped by the evil 6 great revolutionary heroes and returned alone to reunite with Hios. That's how the story goes. Sahan breaks into a cold sweat, realizing, well, there are some true elements in there, but that makes it even more annoying. He sighs and speaks up. Anyway, this is an opportunity to conquer the heretics who are pushing innocent people into chaos. What a fitting mission for the king. Based on Jinda's personality, he will definitely lead the expedition team. We will also join this expedition team. When leaving the capital, the number of guards will decrease, and we will use that opportunity to approach Jinda. The scene shifts to the city gates. Someone shouts loudly, everyone, line up. I have been ordered by the great revolutionary hero King Gashida to lead this team. I am Count Ketan. Everyone will be rewarded handsomely for their achievements, so follow me loyally. Lita is confused. Who is directly leading? Sahan's head is spinning. Looks like even without Jinda, we're still going to have a hard time. I was so sure that bastard would show up himself. If we perform exceptionally well, we'll definitely have more chances to approach Gashida, so I guess it's not entirely a waste of effort. What happened to that aggressive guy? At this moment, Ketan bites his lip, recalling his words. How dare those heretics bully my innocent people? He quickly reassured him. Your Majesty, please let me handle this matter. He sighs. Convincing the king not to go was such a hassle. Thank goodness I get to lead the expedition. Why did I get dragged into this mess? He recalls his conversation with Grandon. Lord Ketan, I beg of you. The secret of the ivory tower depends on this. This matter must never reach King Gashida's ears. And obviously, the state army cannot be involved in this either. He raises his teacup and accepts. Understood. It's not too difficult anyway, and it's a request from our longtime sponsor. The Blue Ivory Tower. The old man furrows his brows and instructs. The Ivory Tower will send 10 mages from the 6th floor, and I will also bring 5 Black Knights, so you will definitely have enough troops. All you have to do is recruit a few more capable soldiers with your own money. Count Ketan. Back to reality. Ketan rides his horse and ponders. Although a bit cumbersome, this is just to suppress a small group of heretics. If I can settle my debt with the Ivory Tower, then this is no problem. He shouts his orders. Everyone, listen to my instructions. We are moving out. In the darkness, a person stands in front of a small fire and calls out, O children of Hios, the non-believers have finally raised the sword of sinners. They are trying to plunder the believers with their army. The crowd hears this and shouts, those foolish non-believers know nothing. Death is salvation and the path to freedom. You have nothing to fear. These words make him smile in satisfaction. Lakin agrees. That's right. According to the teachings of Hios, death is the only way to be freed from this fake world. But Hios does not want us to die in selfish ways like offering ourselves up just to gain freedom for ourselves. The death we achieve by liberating others is the joy we can offer to our God. Those who have been chosen to experience agony, please step forward. Then 3 people quickly step forward. He coaxes them. There's no need to be afraid. You are blessed by the love of Hios. The girl looks up, sweating profusely but still affirms. Yes, I am not afraid. He closes his eyes, chuckles softly. A second later, Lakin spreads his arms and summons. Dragon of Hios, Please accept the offering of these loyal believers. The other two stand frozen at the rumbling sound. It appears with its massive body. The centipede bares its sharp teeth, growling a few times. The three of them are both terrified and amazed, exclaiming, "Ooh, Dragon of Heos." The girl with empty pupils prays, "Please accept our offering." As soon as she finishes speaking, it sends her to the other world immediately. The people there excitedly cheer together. They watch the centipede's back as it enters the cave and shout, "The messenger of God has accepted our sacrifice. Please bestow upon the non-believers the flame of truth." Meanwhile, Laken sighs inwardly. It was a success this time too. It seems it consumes much faster than I thought. As long as I still have the ashes of the Lawson royal hearts, and as long as I keep sacrificing, the Earth Dragon will still follow my wishes. But how much longer can I control the dragon? Without the Earth Dragon, these idiots won't be convinced. I guess when that time comes, I'll just deny everything. I should enjoy this while I can, right? The scene shifts to a trail in the vast forest. Kitten shouts his orders. "Tonight we will camp here. Everyone, prepare to set up camp." The soldiers hear this and stop, chatting animatedly. His voice held a hint of disdain. There's no organization at all. It's just pure chaos. If you compare this to a regular army, there's zero order here. If they can't even control things like this, how are they supposed to fight properly? Lita raised a hand and chuckled softly. "You won't find any organization in an expedition team made entirely of mercenaries. How could an arrogant knight understand how lowly mercenaries work? Pathetic, isn't it?" he mocked. "An arrogant knight? It's pretty funny coming from you. Lita, aren't you royalty too?" Sahan watched the two of them glaring at each other, sparks practically flying, and quickly intervened. "Watch your words. Zeno, seriously, if anyone hears that, I'm the one who's going to get in trouble," Zeno blurted out guiltily. "Sorry." Sahan sighed wearily. "Let's just eat. I'm starving." Zeno's eyes sparkled like stars. "Yes, Sahan, I'll get it ready right away." Sahan secretly criticized him. What an idiot. As Zeno went to cook, Sahan asked curiously, "What's on the menu tonight?" "Stew again." Zeno acknowledged, raising a finger to explain. "Getting enough nutrients while traveling is super important. So stew is our only option. It's quick to make, and it doesn't waste any ingredients." Sahan felt exasperated. "Who are you even explaining this to? It's basically just leftovers." Lita smacked her lips. "I know, but eating out here is never going to be gourmet. We eat to survive. Why are you so demanding about the taste?" Suddenly, Zeno called out, "It's done." Catching their attention, he scooped up a ladle of soup. The entire pot radiated a brilliant, blinding light. "Let's eat." Sahan took a bite and immediately gasped in awe. "This is amazing. It's so good. Are you sure you used the same ingredients to make this stew?" Zeno smiled brightly. "It's just a vegetable stew. I enjoy experimenting with food because cooking is my hobby." Sahan silently rejected the idea. "That's definitely not just a hobby." Lita also had to praise him. "This is delicious. If you told me you were a royal chef, I'd believe it." Zeno boasted proudly. "Honestly, this recipe is so good that the head chef of the Lacen Palace used to bother me about it, which was pretty stressful." Sahan teased. "If you were a chef, that recipe would be worth more than your life. They should be ashamed of themselves." Lita chimed in. "You're a chef? Not a knight. I'll take another bowl, please." Zeno happily agreed. "Eat up. Dig in." Watching this scene, Sahan breathed a sigh of relief. Suddenly, a few drops of rain fell on his head. Sahan looked up at the sky in bewilderment. "It's raining." Everyone quickly evacuated to find shelter. Huddled inside the tent, they complained. "It's raining, and we're basically homeless. This is the absolute worst." Sahan muttered as he hammered in a tent peg. "It's harder to sense things when it rains." Zeno raised a finger in agreement. "It's really hard to distinguish anything when everything around you is drenched in moisture." Lita placed a hand on her chest, looking worried. "They say the main force of the Sahan rebirth cult comes from monsters, so we don't need to worry about being ambushed in the rain, right? Even if they're monsters, they're still beasts and don't usually roam around in the rain. Even so, no one is standing guard right now. Instead, they all rushed off to get out of the rain. They should be more vigilant. If their army consists of monsters, it means someone is controlling them. So couldn't they force the monsters out into the rain?" Sahan denied it. "No, that's completely impossible. No matter how good they are at mind control, they can't override animal instincts. I can guarantee it. Monsters won't move in heavy rain like this. Zeno clapped his hands together. Got it. Right at that moment, an alarm rang out. Enemy attack. Sahan was left speechless. Beasts from the deep forest quickly charged out. The group scrambled to run as the monsters pursued them. Monsters are here. Sahan turned his head, hesitating. Has everything in Graner changed over the past 10 years? The people in the camp watched the soldiers fight the monsters in absolute terror. How are monsters attacking in this heavy rain? How can they be controlled like this? One man quickly grabbed his sword, threw open the tent flap, and shouted, "That doesn't matter right now. Everyone form up, set up a defensive circle, and prepare to attack." A soldier pointed his sharp sword at a beast with disdain. Even if you're a monster, you're still just a dumb animal. We're battle-hardened mercenaries. Two of them teamed up to stab a monster. He grinned, baring his teeth, and yelled, "All right, one down." But before he could celebrate, another monster swatted him, making him cough up blood. They panicked at the monster's sheer persistence. What the hell? Why are they so stubborn? They've taken so much damage, they should be running away by now. Suddenly, footsteps approached, and a familiar voice rang out. They're being controlled. Unless they're dead, they won't stay down. We have to kill them one by one. Don't try to take them all on at once. Just focus on the one right in front of you. With that said, the whole group charged into battle. Long glanced over and called out, "Hey, the Leon. That mercenary." Dokdani agreed. "Yeah, he's pretty useful. Who would have thought he'd be commanding them in the middle of all this chaos?" Kale grumbled from behind. "You guys should be protecting your leader." He smiles, observing Sahan, while a voice echoes in his ears. At that level, he might be quite useful. At this moment, Sahan points his sword forward and charges. He delivers a powerful slash to the monster. Then, Sahan leaped forward, putting it to sleep for good. The mercenaries panted heavily. That was the last one, right? It's finally over. They celebrate together. We won. Damn monsters. Sahan looks at everyone laughing and talking, thinking to himself. A total of 44 monsters appeared, but none of them showed any sign. Single one showed any sign of wanting to run away. What is going on? Is that even possible? I can't believe they can use mind control magic to make the monsters reject their own instincts. I never saw this kind of magic when I was fighting the Empire over 10 years ago. Suddenly, he glances to the side, listening intently. In the distance, a group of people is gathering together. They are whispering about something. Sahan smirks and guesses. Looks like there's trouble over there. I guess this isn't just a simple mission to suppress a cult. At this moment, Kitten reaches out and warns. Stay on high alert. Anyone who slacks off will be severely punished. Seeing this, they can't help but get angry. What a smooth talker. He's the one who hid behind the knights during the battle with the monsters. If the knights had volunteered to help from the beginning, we wouldn't have suffered so many casualties. Xenon sighs in criticism. The commander is truly pathetic. Lita chimes in. Agreed. He only cares about his own life. He crouches down, opens his bag, and advises. Don't mind him. It's a waste of breath. He is curious. Could it be you know him? Sahan replies. A little. Back in the day, we weren't acquaintances, but I heard rumors about him. Back then, his nickname was the Superman with the body of a sage and the brain of a monster. Xenon rubs his chin. Oh, doesn't match his appearance. Huh, wait a minute. Isn't it the other way around? Sahan affirms. No, that's how it was. Meaning he's a completely incompetent Superman. He has absolutely no combat ability, but surprisingly, he always manages to survive. Who would have thought he'd actually become a count? He marvels. The world turns in strange ways, huh? Lita ponders deeply. Really? She looks at Ketten stroking his beard and says, but I don't think a normal and incompetent person like that could reach that position. The scene shifts to Roy Village. Darkness covers the place. Ketten stands on the podium and shouts, You fought hard. We will officially begin suppressing the Sahan cultists tomorrow morning. So tonight, everyone rest here and recover as much stamina as possible. People chuckle and chat. Looks like we'll get to sleep on dry ground tonight. Yeah, I thought we'd have to keep sleeping in those flimsy tents. But this is the first time us mercenaries are being treated like this, huh? Sahan turns and mocks. Yet just yesterday they were complaining nonstop. Truly, no matter the world, Humans are always swayed by treatment. Huh? Xenon points at the bed. Our beds are ready. He lies down on the bed. All right, let's get a good night's sleep tonight. While Sahan is sleeping soundly, a voice calls out, Mr. Sun Shatian. Is there anyone named Sun Shatian among the mercenaries here? Sahan sits up, raises his hand. I'm Sun Shatian. Dina happily introduces herself. I'm Dina Glonbo, and I serve Lord Famin. A knight. Could the three of you come with me for a moment? Mage Ha and Lord Jordan are looking for you three. The three of them look at each other, confused. The scene shifts to a quiet, spacious house. Dina points at the door and says, the knights and mages are all staying at this inn. Since they are having a secret meeting, I can only lead you this far. She suddenly stares straight ahead, her cheeks flushed. Lita is currently bewildered, not understanding what's going on. Dina is incredibly admiring. Even though she's so young, that lady is already high-ranking. Unbelievable. So geniuses really do exist.